Hello friends, let's do addition and subtraction of fractions. So I know 1 plus 2 is what? Is just 3, right? Now, since we want to deal with fraction in this video, I'm going to write this 1 as 1 over 1, right? And I'm going to write 2. 2 is the same thing as 2 over 1, right? This is a form of a fraction, right? And there's a plus sign here. Now, if you observe that the denominator, this is the denominator, the number under, right? The denominators, they are the same, right? So I can just put 1 as the denominator, and then I can add the numerator. The numerator is this 1 and this 2, and add the numerator, right? So I have, it's going to be 1 plus 2. So, and this is just 3 over 1, which is 3. So you see that what I have here is 3, and what I have here is also 3. I hope this makes sense. Okay, now, I want us to look at this problem. That's the known, right? So what I did was I wrote those numbers as fractions, right? And then I just, you know, I just did it. Okay, now let's look at this one. Now, if I want to add 1 plus 1 over 2, how can I add this? Just like what I did here, I made the denominator to be the same. The denominator here, they are the same, right? They are the same, 1 and 1. So the same thing I want to do here, I want to make the denominator of these two um these two numbers to be the same. So this one here, I can write this one as 1 over 1 plus 1 over 2, right? Now, if you observe that the denominator here, they are not the same. The denominator of the first term is what? Is 1, and the denominator of the second one is 2, right? So how can I make this denominator to be the same, right? So the way I can do that is I can multiply this first term here, this 1 over 1, I can multiply the top and the bottom by 2. So let me just write that, and I'm going to explain why I'm doing that. So I can multiply this 2 divided by 2. So I'm multiplying this top and bottom by 2. And why am I multiplying by 2 in particular? The reason why I'm multiplying by 2 is because the denominator of the second number is what? Is 2. So that's why I'm multiplying the top and the bottom by 2. Please take note, I'm not just multiplying by 2, I'm multiplying by 2 divided by 2. Okay. Now, if you multiply that first part, what do you get? So we are going to get this is equal to 2 over 2, right? When you multiply this first part, right, you get 2 over 2. If you multiply the numerator and the denominator, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, then you have a plus 1 over 2. I hope this makes sense. Next, since the denominator now are the same, right? The denominators are the same. What I can just do is that I can just take the denominator, put a long, bar, take the denominator, write it 2, then I write the numerators 2 plus, this is going to be 3 over 2. So 1, so 1 plus 1 over 2 is equal to 3 over 2. So the idea here is that my goal is to make the denominators to be the same. And that way it's just easy. So now let's look at this one now. This one is a little bit different. This one, these fractions, 1 over 3 plus 1 over 2, these are two fractions. But if you observe that their denominators are different, the denominator for the first one is 3, the denominator for the second one is 2. Now the question is, how can I make these denominators to be the same, right? So what I'm going, just similar to what I did here, I multiply the top and bottom by the denominator of the second fraction, right? So what I can do here is that I can multiply the top and the bottom of the first one, right? Which is the top and the bottom of this 1 over 3 by the denominator of the second number, which is 2. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 2 divided by 2. And I'm also going to multiply the top and bottom of this second one by the denominator of the first one. So 3 over 3, right? Now, if I multiply that, what I'm going to get is I'm going to get this is going to be equal to 2 times 1 is 2, then 3 times 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 times 3 is 3, and then 2 times 3 is 6. Now, if you observe that the denominators now, they are the same, right? 6, right? They are the same. So I can easily just, simplify. So I'll just write a big bar, put the denominator 6, then I have the numerators 2 plus 3, and this is just going to be 5 over 6. See that? So basically that's just it. So 1 over 3 plus 1 over 2 is equal to 5 over 6. And that's it. Okay, now let's look at this one. Let's look at this one. So for this one, if you observe again, this is a subtraction problem, right? Subtracting fraction. If you observe again that the denominators are different, right? These are the denominators, 2 and 5. They are different. So similar to what I did, I'm just going to multiply the first part. So let me write this. This is going to be equal to. So I'm going to multiply the first part by the denominator of the second one, which is 5. 5, 5. So I have my 3 over 2 minus, right? I'm multiplying the 3 over 2 by the denominator of the second number, which is 5, right? So then I'm going to multiply the 2 over 5 by the denominator of the first one. The denominator of the first one is what? Is 2. So I'm just going to multiply by 2, uh, 2 over 2, right? The dot there means I'm multiplying. So you see the way I did it. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to multiply now. So this is just going to be equal to 15 over 10 minus 4 over 10. And then this is just going to be equal to, so I just draw a big bar. This 10, and I have 15 minus 4, and this is what? 11 over 10. And that's it. That's it. I hope this helps. Okay, then the last problem, which is 7 over 6 minus 2 over 3. So for this problem, you can do it just exactly the same way we did the other ones, right? The previous ones. But sometimes you want to be efficient in the way you solve problems, right? So for this one, the goal is that I want the denominator to be what? To be the same, right? I want the denominators to be the same. So for this problem, what I can do, that my goal is I want the denominator to be the same so that I can now add or subtract the numerator. So for this problem, what I can do is that I have 7 over 6 minus. So now, since 3 is a factor of 6, right? I can multiply the top and the bottom of this second one by 2 over 2. Now, why am I multiplying by 2? Because I know that if I multiply the denominator by 2, if I multiply 3 times 2, I'm going to get 6, right? I'm going to get the denominator of the first fraction, right? So I multiply by 2 over 2, right? And this gives me 7 over 6 minus 4 over 6. So now the denominator is the same, right? And multiplying by 2 over 2, I'm not changing anything because 2 over 2 is what? 2 over 2 is 1. So I'm basically multiplying by 1, right? So this is just going to be, so I have my 6, and then I have 7 minus 4. This is 3 over 6. And if I simplify further, it's just going to be 1 over 2. That's the answer. Okay, so now somebody might like, oh, why? Let's do it the previous way, the way we've been doing it. Okay, we are going to do this one the way we've been doing it. So I'm going to write all. So I have 7 over 6 minus 2 over 3, right? So if I want to do this one, just like the previous way, the way we've been doing it, so I can multiply the first fraction, which is 7 over 6, by the denominator of the second one, right? So I will multiply the top and bottom. So let me multiply 3 over 3. Then I have 7 over 6, right? Then I have minus. So now I'll multiply the top and bottom of this second fraction by the denominator of the first one, which is 6, right? So now this is just going to be 6 over 6 times 2 over 3, right? Right. So now this is just going to be equal to uh, this is going to be equal to 21, right? 21 over 18 minus 12 over 18. Now the denominators are the same, right? So I can just draw the long bar and then I have 18 under, then I have 21 minus 12. 21 minus 12, that's what? That's going to be 9, right? 9 over 18, right? And 9 divided by 18, if you divide this, 9 here 1, 9 here 2. So this is just going to be 1 over 2. So you observe the answer up is also what? Is also 1 over 2, right? But if you observe that, if you look at what we just did, if you observe that this one is not as demanding. I mean, this one, the first method is not as demanding as the second method. The second method, what we did was we arrived at big numbers, right? So, so that's it about adding and subtracting fractions. I hope this helps. Please, if you have not subscribed, we encourage you to do so to get notifications when I post more helpful content. Thank you.